Well, happy Father's Day, everyone. June the 16th, the glorious 16th. It's going to be interesting. It'll either be really good or I'll be completely wasting my time. I'm looking forward to leaving the fly rods behind today and having a go with the lure rods and getting the old kayak out. I haven't been out since Coarse. The Dominator. I've matched that up with a Abu Revo SX30, 12-pound jig silk. Mustn't forget these, the Mirage drive. Slides into the middle of the hole, and as you pedal, you've got these paddles that swim like a penguin. There he is, Reggie. Can't go without Reggie on a river. Maybe it's got something to do with it hammering down, but I've got a sudden urge to load this baby up. So that's the fella, the Penn HT100. Serious bit of kit for a dinky little reel. I'm going to load it up with this 6-pound braid and match it up with my favourite rod, which I've been meaning to do for ages, and that's my Gray's Ultralight. It's not made anymore. Caught my two biggest perch on it. It's had a 412 and a 5.4, and I had guys laughing at me when I was using this. They took the mick out of my toy rod and reel. It's a rod very much worthy of an upgrade from this old battered Mitchell. So that'll probably do me. Right, so that's that done. There's the spool. You'll see that a good few millimetres away from the lip. And the reason for that is that with this really low diameter jig silk, you can get wind knots really easily. Mistake of loading it up just so there's a millimetre. Casting out, point out, you've got loads of wind knots. To protect the kayak, not the van, incidentally. Mirage drive. Little anchor. There's rod holders. Seat locked on. Chinook buoyancy aid with the high back. You probably want a single-handed paddle as well with the hook. I've done a separate review on this. Floating rubberised landing net. A small box of lures. Right, so the next thing I've got to do is lash all this stuff down. There you go, there's my Fuji Finepix camera. That's going to be mounted at the front. Nice and cheap. Tough as old boots. It's the Fox Micro Shad. I think that's on a 1 gram jig head. Before I do anything else though, I'll be crushing that barb down too, because there are a few pike in here and I want them to shake this out if they bite through. I just had a glimpse at the river and it's chocolate, man. Oh well. And I think they've pegged out the peg that I launched from, so it's going to go down really well, isn't it? What can you do? Well, thankfully there's no one in the match where I'm about to launch. I made a vow that if I ever get a chance, I will have a go at the match fishing scene again. Now there's a predicament. Apparently they can break your arm. There's probably a foot of visibility there. Some little chublets topping as well. I'll be quite happy with a 4-ounce perch, just to open up the river season. So that's probably fishing at only a few inches below the surface. Barely need to turn the rod handle here because the flow's moving just at the right speed to animate that lure. Just with a little bit of rod movement to get that tail kicking. And you'll see what I mean about this tail kicking. So much movement, this little lure. Bigger? Oh, again. Must be tiny fins. Yeah, as always. Camera wasn't rolling. But there you go, first fish. I think it was massive, judging by this on this net. But what's really nice is that it's not a little perch at all. It's what I saw topping. Let's just turn that camera around. There he is, a nice chub. I don't think I even need to take this one out of the water. There you go. get him back in the water. I can't believe how much water's chugging through all the way back here. My logics and fishing sense is telling me I ought to really get something a bit more leery on than what I've got on at the moment because of this coloured water. What I've got on at the moment is too subtle. It's a needle in a haystack. But you know what it's like when you love a setup, you love a lure, you want it to work, even in the wrong conditions. I think we're all guilty of that sometimes. This is a funny old lure from 1982, I think. Looks familiar, does it? Z-Man grub. Oh, it's like Piccadilly Circus, and I'm getting legged out and I'm snagging up as well. Only just put that lure on as well. It's the only one I've got.
Any luck today?
No, I'm just having one disaster after the other, if I'm honest. But it's the opening day of the season, so I was obliged to come out and fish. I think I can just about see it under the water actually. Might be able to get that back. There we go. There we go. It's not the end of the world, is it? Cheer up. On from saying we should share the water with everybody else to thinking they should all just bog off. I've just spotted an angler. Looks like he's trotting along the inside margin, so I'll take the outside bank. I always try and hang back if I can to find out whether they're feeder fishing, pole fishing or pike fishing or what, so that I can take the bank that they're not on. Sometimes they appreciate it, sometimes they don't. He's actually trotting right down the middle of the channel, so I'll hug that right hand bank. Actually, I might just hang back a little bit, because if he's chucking bait in, he might have got all the chub on the feed. Right. It's the first powered boat I've seen all morning, so I mustn't grumble. I'm going to try and put casting along that crease. So not actually in the current, just along the edge of it. Yep, that felt like a couple of bumps. Well, it looks like it's going to be another one of those video blogs so I don't catch any fish. Well, I'm running out of ideas. I've only got light pike rods, so all those things on the right and that are no good. Tempted to give that a go, but it's got pike written all over it, isn't it? I mean, perch are going to snap at that tail, chub might snap at it, but I don't think you're going to get hook up. Yeah, I'm wondering what to do. I've got some bits of rubbish that I bought from China. They're on heavy lures. That might do the job actually. I think I'm going to give this a bash. Coloured water, black lure, I know. Doesn't make sense really, does it? But I fancy giving them a go. As you can see, there's another angler on the boat over there. Oh, there's a fish. There we go. So I've had a chublet, I've had a perch, albeit I should say perchlet, chublet. Blimey, has nailed that. Goodness, it's barbless, that's all I can say. Lovely. What's the size of that compared to him? Anyway, flipping him back. First cast that was with a new lure, and it's given me my second fish. I think with a lighter lure I was just having to jig it a little bit too slowly, you know, like winter techniques, just ignoring it, I think. But what I'd really like to catch is a nice big chub or a nice big perch. wind's been blowing all over the place, really squalid. And now at least I feel like I'm in contact with the lure. How about that for a wind knot? I tried to put the brakes on as I cast out. And it's just bounced back and done that. Well, by some miracle I managed to sort that wind knot out. I mean, wind's blowing me upstream, flow's going downstream. I'm going to be tipped in a minute if I'm not careful. I'm hoping this is a fish. No, it's a twig. It really felt like a fish. That's why I switched the camera on. Never mind. Oh, that could actually be a fish. That could equally be a twig. If it's a fish, then it's coming towards me at a ridiculous speed. It is a fish, I believe. It's only too sizable. It's a little chublet. If it's a dinky one, another dinky one. You can see you, buddy. Don't let me stop you. Gobble it all up. Off he goes. See if I can get that pike. I've got a stinger on the back of that as well. Well, I've fished till 8 o'clock. Can't say I haven't tried. All I've had is a couple of chublets and a couple of perchlets. Arguably the most boring vlog you're ever going to watch, Sharky. That was a tough session. It was a grueler. I found that mentally exhausting. At least I got to see the kingfisher eating the roach. That was wicked. And I did have a follow from half decent perch. I managed to snap my rod tip when getting out of the river as well. So that's the Fox Terminator terminated. I'm looking forward to a cold beer.